So when it's, I would assume, I haven't read Jeremiah 32 on this, but I would assume what it means there is that things that are normally impossible with human beings, God can do, but even God can't violate his own nature.
I just have a question on something you said that there are some things which God simply can't do, like some things are impossible for God himself. But according to Jeremiah chapter, what is this? Jeremiah 32 verse 27, it says that, "Behold, I'm the Lord, the God of all flesh. Is there anything too hard for me?" And another scripture as well, Luke 18:27 says, "And he said, the things which are impossible with men are possible with God." So I want to know your take on these scriptures, since you say that there are some things which are simply impossible for God.
Well, we'd have to look at the context of those passages. And when we say that things that are impossible with humans can be possible with God, we're not talking about logically impossible things, because God is the ground of logic, so he can't violate his own nature. I mean, if God could violate logic, he could both exist and not exist at the same time and in the same sense, right? Jesus could have resurrected and not resurrected at the same time and in the same sense. So logic isn't invented by God. Logic flows from his nature. So when it's, I would assume, I haven't read Jeremiah 32 on this, but I would assume what it means there is that things that are normally impossible with human beings, God can do, but even God can't violate his own nature. He couldn't go out of existence, for example. He couldn't lie. He couldn't make a rock so big he couldn't lift it. Why? Because a rock, when somebody says, "Can God make a rock so big he can't lift it?" You got to ask him, how big is the rock? And the person's going to say, big. You go, how big is big? Really big. How big is really big? Infinitely big. Now, what has that person just done? He's actually transgressed into what logicians call a category mistake. You can't have an infinitely big, finite rock, right? Any rock is finite by definition. It has boundaries. So you can't have an infinite, finite rock. It's got to be, any rock that God can make, God can move. But he can't make a logically impossible rock an infinite, finite rock. It doesn't exist.